Star Atlas news. Somebody just posted this to my Discord, and if you want me to react to anything, hop into my Discord community, the community Discord channel. Here's the invite. Here's the link, and just post it there in the video react section. But yeah, so this is by Kira, and the video is called "Metaverse Company Fires Most of Their Staff, Claims It's Okay." All right, that's never okay, but sure.
Now, what up, friendos? Welcome back. We're talking about metaverses today, everyone's favorite. We're talking about Star Atlas. They've just laid off 73% of their team, over 100 people, I do believe, 122 people, and they're left down to 45. Now, if you don't know what Star Atlas is, I've covered it on one of my, maybe both my channels now, quite a few times, mostly looking at what I believe to be just a clone of...
Didn't like Solana crash or something like that? There was like a whole thing that happened, and I saw it in my Discord, and I have no idea because I'm not into crypto at all.
Star Citizen, only worse.
What's up,
and on the
KV3D?
blockchain. Star Citizen kind of was already the first NFT game without even really knowing it. I think if Star Citizen released nowadays, they probably would have been on blockchain, because what better way to earn money than to sell people pictures of spaceships for even more money than Star Citizen currently does, which is...
No. I wouldn't really agree with this, because Star Citizen's funding model is more stable than NFT-based funding models, like any of them, because real cash is real cash, and it's just how it is.
It's essentially what Star Atlas does. They say, you know, buy these spaceships, and one day they'll exist in a game, and it'll be the ultimate metaverse, play to win, pay to win. Well, it is definitely pay to win.
Oh, you can't even see him.
Play to earn. All
Sorry
these
about
crazy
that.
buzzwords that anyone with a brain knows doesn't really work in an MMORPG or a persistent world at all. Gamers don't want it, speculators do, and as we've been proven time and time again right in saying, speculators care until the product comes out, and then it's not good, it doesn't get adopted, and then people stop speculating and it goes to zero, because the games are worse for this type of monetization than they possibly could be if they were made normally. But companies like this, like Star Atlas, according to an interview the other day that I was listening to with Michael Wagner, which is the CEO here, stood giving his nice little speech, they've raised $200 million in revenue, apparently, and obviously the majority of that money would have been raised in the bull market. As you can hear here, this is how much money the game raised.
Year. You know, the fact that we've done $200 million in revenue through time is...
So they've done $200 million in revenue, and obviously the majority of this was done...
$200 million in revenue already. Jesus. Star Atlas is like 2 years old. I think it's going to be like maybe 3, but I'm going to say like 2.5 years old idea. Jesus.
So they've done $200 million in revenue, and obviously the majority of this was done during the bull market of cryptocurrency, right? When everything was going crazy and these companies were valued at incredibly stupid amounts because everyone was basically dumping money into a market because they thought line only goes up, but then line goes down and loads of people go bankrupt and they lose loads of money. Because the line can go both ways, or it can stay in the middle. So essentially they raised within a very short period of time $200 million for something that nobody's going to be playing for a real long time as an actual product, and they did so by selling NFTs and cryptocurrency tokens and the transaction fees and things like that for stuff that, again, doesn't exist. People will say, oh no, Kira, you don't understand cryptocurrency. It does exist because you own the asset, but the game doesn't exist, so the asset does nothing. It has no value other than speculating on whether it will one day. So there's some confusing things here.
Also, if you don't know, like some ships, assets or whatever, in Star Atlas cost like they cost like up to what was it, like $15,000? Like some ships are just like that price. You have like entry level ships that are what, like $40 or whatever. But then again, you have those that like are like so much worse than Star Citizen. But then again, it's Solana and it's crypto, so It doesn't really matter.
To laying off 73% of their team, which obviously
No, the
doesn't
space
bode-
bike was like really cheap. Space bike was it was like $40 or $30, something like that. But then you had, let me actually
well
Google
for
it for
anybody
you.
if you're a fan of this game, or well, it's not a game, but what it could potentially be. This is obviously really bad news, and obviously it's been spun a little bit to be not quite as bad. But what I'm confused about is that
Yeah, so here it is. These are the ship prices. Currently on what is it called? Like gray market, but it's not even gray market because community manager from Star Atlas actually made a video on like Star Atlas and all of that, and he promoted this. So $11,000 for something, 86% discount. What? 105,000. Let me actually buy this for myself. So, wait, I clicked on the ship and it what? Okay. But yeah, you can see the prices here. They're just like they're crazy. They are crazy. I'm trying to find the 5 million. What? Hello? Wait, what are the so best ask price? Oh, so okay, I get it. So this is the price that they paid, and then this is the price. I don't fucking understand this at all. But like, look, even if you look at the 105,000 and then you have a 15K or 16K price, even if this is the discounted price and you buy a ship for 15,000, it's still fucking 15,000, and it's just like a JPEG. Because most of these ships are not even like close to being done. They have released some, what are they called? Like white box models of certain ships. All of the ships have the same sound. All of them have the same like maneuvering speed, mechanics, and all of that. Like everything that they released, it's so crazy. It's so, and some people are still like amazed by the game, and they just wanted to succeed. I mean, sure, you want to succeed. Like if you invested $5 million or fucking $105,000 or 15 or whatever $1,000 into a game, you wanted to fucking succeed, right? But anyway,
Star Atlas came out last year. We'll all remember in 2022 the FT
5 mil. Like you still gotta remember it's crypto, so you may have invested, I don't know, several $1,000 into a coin that you like then transferred or transformed or fucking whatever the thing is. I'm Serbian, so I don't fucking know all the words. But like, let's say it was Bitcoin, and then you like invested in like that Bitcoins into Solana, and now you have like a lot of money suddenly, and you can spend 100K on a ship because it's an investment. It's an NFT. It's an investment, but it's fucking crazy.
one of the biggest frauds on the planet.
At least Star Atlas has rocket boots. Yeah,
basically,
it's one of the mechanics that's really easy to do, but like Star Citizen doesn't want to do it for whatever reason. But yeah, they have rocket boots, and there is like this screenshot is from I'm gonna say a car dealership kind of an area where you can like spawn your ships and like try them out. But there's like one racetrack that you can fly around, and that's it.
Was running a big old scheme, taking tens of billions of dollars of people's money, misappropriating it, using it in whatever means they wanted to, and then went bankrupt, lost it all, just lost all that money. Sad times. And basically, Star Atlas decided in Wagner's infinite wisdom, he thought, what would be a good idea? I know, we'll put our money that we don't need to, that these people gave us for this product, into FTX. And then FTX goes bankrupt and they lose their money. He said, quote, they had a material cash exposure.
Oh, so that's what happened, because I heard that something happened, but it wasn't to Solana, it was to FTX.
That his trust had been betrayed by FTX. The company did not say how much cash it lost in the collapse. So he said, based on what they lost, while previously we had multiple years of runway given current operations ahead of us, that has presently been reduced by approximately one half. Now, according to eventual news that came out, basically he was quoted in a lot of these articles as saying they lost $16 million in FTX, which doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense to me. If you've done 200 million revenue and you lost 16 mil.
After laying off 73% of its team, Star Atlas developed ATMTA, whatever that is. That's a developer. Okay, says it remains focused on building out the Solana-based NFT space game.
That shouldn't reduce your development runway by half. Doesn't make a ton of sense, especially considering that they later said that after they lost this $16 million, they claimed back 50% by selling the debt to somebody, essentially, because obviously the bankruptcy proceedings. So that would mean they lost $8 million, and that has apparently cut down their game runway by half. Financials don't make a ton of sense there, but maybe there's something here
a door
I'm
closing
missing.
event.
But here we go. Let's talk about the layoffs.
Yeah.
So nothing about our vision has changed, other than the fact that it's a fucking pretty far away vision. Now, in an exclusive interview, the co-founder and CEO Michael Wagner told Decrypt that the move was necessary to preserve the project's long-term goals. We did have to lay off about 122 people from our team. So there's a sizable reduction in the labor force. Yeah, you could say sizable. Most people would say the majority.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, ATMTA cut its team to 45 total people, down from a recent total of 167, and slashed from the 2022 peak of 235. So basically, they've lost like 190 employees since they lost this money. From 235 down to 45 at present.
Now, Toshiro, they actually said no parachutes, but we're going to have jetpacks.
They told Decrypt that the total includes contractors and employees from partner studios that were tapped to co-develop the game, saying that they've essentially been full-time team members. So what they say is this is to accommodate a long runway. Now, you'll hear this a lot in business. People love saying, talking about runways. Essentially what they mean is you're in a plane, your runway needs to be long enough, otherwise you can't take off because you'll go fast and then you'll run out of runway and then you'll blow up and everyone will die. But obviously there's a couple different ways to look at this. If you've already scaled up your company to have a whole bunch of people, that means your runway will be one size, but you'll be going faster, so you might take off faster. When you downsize your team after you've had a bunch of people, that's going to be incredibly inefficient, which means you're going to be wasting more time, plus you'll be going slower, so while the runway might be longer, there's a good chance you might still reach the end and run out of runway. You're essentially trading speed for just a longer duration. So what you're doing here is just hoping to God that you just raise more money. Now, let me just say, if you're a company that's done $200 million in revenue in basically 2 years, nobody wants to be hearing that we've had to fire almost everybody because if we don't, we're just not going to make it. He's also been quoted in this video as saying that the Unreal Engine game, the big old metaverse that everybody bought into and everybody wants, is probably $400+ million to be created, which means that essentially with their $200 million done in revenue and having to fire these people, they're going to have to raise multiple hundreds of millions of dollars additionally to ever get to that point. So what he's saying is we are essentially going to have to focus on making money instead of making the main product. Otherwise, we will never be able to make the main product. Not a position anybody ever wants to be telling you that they're in.
Yeah.
So essentially what he said is they've determined key personnel that will enable us to achieve our long-term vision and still build the variety of product lines that we have in development. He also acknowledged that
this is them just like pouring water on the fire, and little do they know is that like when you pour water on the fire, it just like blows up even more. It's even worse, honestly. And that's the issue. Like they're trying to do like damage control, but Most people can already see. I guess the hardcore fans are still going to be hardcore fans, and that's it. Like, that's not going to change. And you're still going to have YouTubers that are going to promote the shit out of the game. But like, for most of us, we can see, yeah, like, dudes, this is over. It's over.
Could impact game development. Yeah, I'd say so.
And I'm pretty sure that like their community manager is gonna like comment on my on the clip from this stream, saying that it's not, that it's actually everything good, because he did already comment on my video that like Star Atlas is a scam, and the most laughable moment about that video is that they are actually charging people, but they're asking people, they're not even charging. They're asking people to what's it called? Boost their Discord server. If you want to talk to our to Michael Wagner or whatever his name is, and to the other developers in whatever the ATMTA or the Star Atlas developers, you gotta boost their Discord server. Like, with all the money that they have made from like crypto and all of that, from selling NFTs, from like selling overpriced pictures to people, they can't even boost their own server. So they gotta ask people to do that.
Particularly when it comes to building out the robust, full-sized version of the game using Unreal Engine, Epic Games' industry standard toolkit for AAA games. The biggest impact is probably to our flagship product line, the Unreal Engine team. That is where we saw major reductions in our co-creation studio engagements. So yeah, essentially they're going to be focusing on the shit that nobody really wants, and if they don't raise enough money, the shit that people did want, it's just not going to happen, is it? Like, the writing's on the wall here. Cryptocurrency is going to have to go crazy for them to raise enough money now.
But you know what? What they could do to like evade the lawsuits, they could just like make those ships, right? And just make the ships, and that's it. No game, no gameplay, no nothing. You have 3D models of ships that you can fly in the whatever ship dealership that I already talked about, and that's it. That's it. So you actually got what you pay for, right?
Now to be able to do almost anything. So while we make money every single month, we did not make enough money to cover the expenses of a AAA team that has a multi-million-dollar monthly run rate. So we're scaling down the team to a more sustainable rate to get those products out, specifically focusing on the economy activation, aka activate my economy, because if you don't, we go in bye-bye.
Exactly.
Your NFTs, your pictures are going to be fucking worthless.
Exactly.
So while ATMTA is scaling back its staff, Wagner said the team is forging ahead and plans to rebuild its Unreal Engine team in time. Yeah, if you make way more money, just real loads of money, otherwise you can't, otherwise you wouldn't have had to scale back. So essentially you're going to have to make a ton more money to do this. The long-term target hasn't changed, in other words, but the Star Atlas team is shifting gears amid a difficult crypto market and financial setbacks of your own creation. We're not stopping Unreal Engine development, he said. Nothing about our vision has changed. We're only reprioritizing our efforts on those things that are more immediately repeatable, and we're leveraging that as a way to grow the user base and generate revenue in a more substantial amount. Imagine a company telling you, like, 2 years after we've done $200 million in revenue, we just need to generate revenue in a more substantial amount. Not even Star Citizen would be so fucking brazen to say that. So not helping matters is the $16 million that they lost when FTX collapsed in November. At the time,
no, like Star Citizen, because Star Citizen is based on a global economy that is just like, it's steady. It's not going to fluctuate like FTX or Solana or any crypto-based economy. So, or currency. That's why. Like, Star Citizen did earn a lot less this year. What's the what's the name of the thing? All right, I'm going to play it until I remember it.
The startup had lost about half of its funds,
CCU
which
game
became
app.
inaccessible when FTX closed withdrawals. We had 16 million on the exchange that was lost now, he said, but they recovered a fairly substantial portion of the funds lost by selling its claim to a distressed investment fund. He said the amount reclaimed in the sale was less than 50% of the amount held at FTX. So yeah, this is the part that doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to me, but who knows, maybe I'm totally, just seeing crazy things on this one. So despite the hardships, Wagner is optimistic about the future and building games on the Solana blockchain. I'm also very optimistic after I've, lost a bunch of money and fired 127 staff, and now we only have 45.
Yep.
I can't imagine how anyone in the community...
So this is currently Star Citizen's funding. And you can see how low it is compared to last year. Like, we are already like hitting Q3 of this year, and no, actually Q4. Jesus, Q4, right? Is it September? Yeah, I guess it is. So it's like half of last year, basically, is what it is. Less than half. A bit less than half. So they're probably hoping, because like 2021 and 2022 were the first actual years that they made some money to like store. They made a profit. So therefore they expanded and they bought Turbulent and all of that. But I think they're like hoping now to get some actual like crazy sales during CitizenCon. And that's why we're probably going to get, or most likely going to get like a big ass ship, a capital size ship, and a medium sized ship, maybe a couple of variants, etc., etc. So they can like have this like red line bigger than last and the last year and the year before that. Because like if you look at this is not good. The company, like whenever you have a company, it needs to like get bigger with each year, and it doesn't look like it's gonna get bigger this time. So I guess we'll see, right?
Community couldn't be optimistic about this because clearly this is a real good change. If things weren't going good before, I mean, they certainly are now. So we've been and continue to be extreme.
Last year they just screwed the player base by hyping 600i and BMM. Yes, they hyped the shit out of the 600i, the BMM, if you remember the Polaris. And then what happened? They did the Galaxy and they gave a Carrack as a loaner. So you can get a Carrack that's like a, $700 ship, 600, whatever, for $350. So a bunch of people bought it. So that's why they made a ton of money. And they sure as fuck are going to do the same thing again this year. On top of having like new big ships, meta ships, Carrack killers or Ryan killers or whatever killers. They're always going to be the best fucking ships, right?
Supportive of Solana and the innovation there. I genuinely believe the work that we're doing, building on chain gaming logic.
They expect everyone will have saved up to 2K laying around after summer vacation. Yeah, sure, because it just worked every fucking time, every year, up until now.
Is only possible on a network like Solana. So they only launched in January 2021. So it's been like 2.5 years.
No, the Cuddy Green is not going to run on electricity. It's going to be a crafting cutlass where you can craft marijuana or like joints and you can sell them, or maize or whatever. And you can sell it and make a lot of money, right? And then they're going to nerf it. Anyway.
Like Solana. So they only launched in January 2021. So it's been like 2.5 years. And they did $200 million in revenue.
As I've said, 2.5 years. $200 million in 2.5 years is fucking crazy.
We didn't have $1. We had a white paper and a dream. He said we were able to generate hundreds of millions of dollars off of that vision. Even with hundreds of millions of dollars, that was never enough to get us to the completion of Star Atlas. Mate, I'd be fucking raging if I heard the person who I trusted with... This is an investment, by the way. I don't care what anybody tells you. When people say, oh, I bought a Kickstarter pledge for a video game and I invested in it. No, you didn't. This is an investment. People put money into this with the idea that it's going to go up in value as the product develops and matures. And later on, they would probably be able to sell it for a whole bunch of money, or at least take advantage of it in an economy where they own the thing and any time that they can get out and probably make more than they put in. But to be told within 2.5 years after hundreds of millions of dollars going through it that it's this bad, man, I'd be fucking raging. There would be no way you could spin this one in my brain. If you were saying that the game should cost $400 and something million to create the entire vision, obviously if you've raised $200 million, you should at least be able to get like a Star Citizen equivalent alpha out. I mean, Star Citizen's raised 600 mil, and they're still going a decade later, 10 years. So let's math this out a little bit. 600 mil,
10 years, that's like 60 mil per year, but it's actually not. Again, we can look at this chart right here, and we can see, oh my god, this fucking scroll wheel. First year was like less, it was 7 mil, 28 mil, 32 mil, 35, 36, 34, 37, 47, 78, 86, 113 million. Plus, this is just like citizen funding or like player funding. You gotta like they got private investors, like the Cauldrons and a bunch of other private investors, and we're like currently much over like 600 million. Like we were probably at 700 million right now. But yeah, let's continue.
10 years. You've been going 2.5 years, 200 mil, and you've already fired the vast majority of your team, meaning it's going to be even slower. Not making a ton of fucking sense to me. So I don't think people should be surprised that we are scaling down in the current environment when the reality was that we always needed to generate revenue. You did, 200 mil. That was the only way this ever gets to completion, and we're still very much in that model. Nothing's changed there. So there you go. That's Star Atlas. If you want to see what kind of state the game is, they've got this. You can fly around on some little race courses and shoot some things. They have obviously released some stuff on the...
And the flight mechanics and everything are the same for every ship. The sound is the same. Everything is basically the same.
Big game store, like a showroom or something where you can walk around and...
I think they currently have like around 10 ships that are released. Small ships, and they are released in like Star Citizen manner. Nothing works inside of them. You can't interact with the ship itself, but you can fly it, and that's it.
But obviously, I'm completely out on stuff like this. I'll never buy anything related to any of these, Web3 games or whatever, because realistically, I don't even think the model works. I don't believe in the model. I think even the messaging behind things like play to earn is fundamentally flawed and come up with by people who don't understand why or how gamers play games in the first place. But obviously, I don't want people to lose all their money, and it looks like this is one that may be the case later on. I don't think they're going to manage to raise, the 400 mil that they're going to need to get this over the finish line, especially considering now they have so few people. 45 people to make the best game ever, built on technology that isn't mainstream in gaming and hasn't really been done before. To make the metaverse, this all-encompassing thing that this word is supposed to represent, to make the greatest, biggest MMORPG ever, not for me, man. Never for my money, but maybe they'll prove me wrong. Only time does. For the people that are going to show up, and I'm sure this guy will see the video and say he doesn't know what he's talking about and blah blah blah. Time will prove everybody right or wrong.
No, we know what he's talking about. Like, he knows what he's talking about. We all know what happened here. So you lost money, you had to like lay off a bunch of people, and now you're trying to make up for your mistakes and make some money and do some like damage control so you can make some money so you can continue working on the thing and continue earning the money. But if people were smart, which is not the case around the globe, it's just like most people are just not smart. They wouldn't first of all, they wouldn't invest into a crypto game ever at the very start. Secondly, when anything like this happens, like they would know that it's the end and they shouldn't invest into this. So I'm going to hope that at least 70% of people. I don't want this game to fucking die. Not because I'm a fan, but because a lot of people have invested a lot of money. But then again, they knew the risks. I guess they knew the risks. So yeah, hopefully there's not going to be any more money being poured into this project, solely because. You're going to have some people that lost a lot of money, and I feel bad about it, and I guess everybody should. But then again, if you had more people pour more money into it, there's going to be more people that have lost more money onto this project, because most crypto games are just like they're doomed to like they're gonna fail because it's unstable. It's not maintainable. One day Bitcoin is gonna be like 20,000. The next day it can be like $4. It's the same with Solana. It's the same with whatever. So yeah.
So all you've got to do to shut me up and prove me wrong is very simple. Just make the product, and when it comes out, it'll be amazing. Everyone will say, Kiri, you've got egg on your face there for, having common sense. But realistically, if you do achieve this, it was in the face of overwhelming odds. So I guess good luck, and sorry for all the people that obviously are going to be disappointed by stuff like this. But you're probably not watching the video anyway, and if you are, you're probably angry already and left 10 minutes ago. But there we go. Links in video description, Discord, Twitter, Patreon if you want to give me some money. And see you next time, I guess. Oh, Twitch as well. Peace.
Supporting your content creators makes more sense than like giving money to a crypto game, honestly. Here's the link. As always, Kira has the best news, and he really understands what's happening. One